All right, let's dive in. If you've ever had that feeling, that you're kind of stuck in your career and not sure what the next move should be, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to lay out a blueprint, a real plan to help you find that clarity and figure out where you're headed.
Yeah, this question probably hits home for a lot of you, right? It's such a common feeling. You might be really good at your job, but it feels like you're just spinning your wheels with no real destination in sight. Well, we're about to break down a structured way to find that direction, to turn that stuck feeling into real forward momentum. Okay, so where do we even start? The very first, and honestly, the most important step is to look inward. I know it's tempting to immediately jump on LinkedIn and see what's out there, but first, you've got to figure out your own internal compass. This is all about getting real with yourself about your strengths, your core values, and what really, truly gets you motivated at work. I love this idea. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Think of it like a personal energy audit of your work week. What are the things you do that just light you up, that make you feel engaged and excited? And what are the tasks that just completely drain your battery? A great career isn't about having zero drains. That's probably impossible. But it's definitely about maximizing those energy gains. Next up, let's talk values. These are your absolute non-negotiables. Just take a look at this list for a second. What jumps out at you? Are you all about autonomy and freedom? Or is stability what you crave? Or maybe it's about making a real impact. Just picking your top three can be a huge aha moment, explaining why some jobs feel amazing and others, well, just don't click. So now we've got all this great raw data about ourselves, what gives us energy, what we value. We can actually use some well-established psychological frameworks to give it some structure. And don't worry, this isn't going to be some dry academic lecture. These are practical, hands-on tools for getting to know your professional self on a way deeper level. First up, something called Adlerian insights. Now, in a nutshell, the idea is pretty simple. As humans, we are all driven by a deep need to belong and to feel like we matter. Think about it, right? That's why a job at a small, tight-knit company might feel amazing, while the same role at a giant, faceless corporation feels empty. Asking yourself, where do I feel like I belong? And how can I make a meaningful contribution? Those are some seriously powerful questions. Next up is a really famous one, the Big Five. And let me just say, this is not about putting you in a box. Not at all. It's about understanding your natural tendencies. Are you super outgoing or more on the quiet side? Are you meticulously organized or more of a go-with-the-flow person? Knowing this stuff helps you find a work environment where you can just be yourself instead of fighting your own nature every single day just to succeed. So here they are, those 5 key traits. And it's pretty easy to see how they apply, right? Someone who's high in openness is probably going to love a creative job that's always changing. But here's a super interesting fact from the research. Across pretty much all jobs, the single biggest predictor of success isn't being an extrovert or super agreeable. It's conscientiousness. Yep, just being reliable and disciplined, that's the secret sauce. Understanding your own profile here gives you a whole new language to talk about your ideal job. Okay, you've done the deep work. You've looked at your energy, you've pinpointed your values, you've analyzed your personality. So, what now? Well, now it's time to turn all that incredible insight into actual, concrete action. And that all starts by crafting your personal career vision statement. And this is not about writing some fluffy, corporate-sounding nonsense. It's a really clear 3-step process. First, you synthesize. Just combine what you're great at with what you deeply care about. Second, you define your impact. What is it you actually want to contribute to the world? And finally, you just keep refining it until it's sharp, to the point, and it genuinely makes you feel excited. Here's a perfect example of what a finished one looks like. See how it weaves everything together? You've got a strength, analytical skills mixed with a passion, the creative industry. And then boom, there's the specific impact, helping artists connect and grow. It's specific, it's inspiring, and you can act on it. This is the kind of clarity we're shooting for. And once you have this statement, oh man, it's a game changer. It becomes your North Star. Seriously. Every single time a new opportunity or new project comes your way, you can hold it up against your vision statement and ask a very simple question. Does this get me closer to my North Star? It makes decision-making so much easier and keeps you on track.
Now, just so you know, this powerful framework we've been walking through is actually distilled from a really intensive professional development workshop. And just to give you a sense of the kind of depth that's involved in this work, let's take a quick peek at how it's structured.
30 hours. The whole process that we've kind of condensed here is pulled from a curriculum that takes 30 hours to complete. That number alone just tells you how much there is to unpack when you really commit to figuring these things out for yourself.
Yeah, this kind of deep dive program usually means you're in small groups with coaching, doing guided self reflection, and getting feedback from other people. It's all designed to help you build out a complete career profile with that awesome vision statement we talked about right at the very top, leading the way. So, we've laid out the whole blueprint for you, from that initial energy audit all the way to crafting that final vision statement. Now, the real question is for you. What is the very first, maybe even tiny step you're going to take today to start charting your own course?